Hi, this is Vicki Humphreys, and today we're going to talk about the Medicare Secondary Payer billing process. Go into LIHTC, open up the bill number I'd like to process a Medicare Secondary claim on. Go into Billing, Bill Options, or use your F8 button. Important things that are critical in order for the claim and the entire batch to get processed. In your primary insurance company, go in and edit and show you what this needs to look like. Here, under the Identification tab, you must have at least a 5-digit character in the Medigap ID field. Depending on what state you are in, there will be possibly more than 5 digits, maybe up to 8. Some insurance companies have what's called an OCNA number, which is an other carrier name and address. And they use a ID number instead of the address. It could very well be the same number as your payer ID from your NEIC list or your MDON list. You can go out to your Medicare website and they will always have a listing of the Medicare Secondary Payer companies, and they do usually change that and update it every so many months. But regardless, you do have to have something in this Medigap ID field in order for the claim to be formatted properly. If you do not know or do not have a Medigap ID number, my recommendation is to insert 5 zeros. In order to get the compliancy correct in your categories, you're going to have already been using Category 1. In Category 2, you put in a B if it's a Blue Cross Blue Shield / Anthem claim. Otherwise, use E, which I would have already set up for you in your system, which covers all the web claims. And even if it's a claim that you would normally send to paper, put an E in there. If you have determined that the type of insurance that this is a group plan, you must have a group number in this field. This is really pretty standard now, regardless of whether it's a secondary claim or primary. If there is a group number, the insurance companies are now requiring that. For your Medicare Secondary claim, pick the correct type, which is Medicare Secondary. You would not have anything in the group number field, including I have seen where people are putting the word none. Leave that blank. Edit this Medicare Secondary. Some people are using the same insurance company that they use for their primary Medicare, and that's fine. But when I edit this, I do want to make sure that also in this, we do have 5 zeros in the Medigap ID. It's just a format issue, and that does need to be there. You do not need to worry about the Category 2 on a Medicare Secondary Payer claim. When that is completed, then you know that you've got this part correct and will not have any problems. Now go to Billing, Custom Fields, and discuss the importance of all the fields and how they should be formatted here. Custom Field 1, from your primary EOB, you want to put in the primary allowed amount. Notice at the bottom, Box 18, 6780 form. These first 3 fields were originally designed to help our clients fill out in Ohio the 6780 form, which is still used today. So these custom fields do have a dual purpose for some of our clients. But for Medicare Secondary, we're using this to complete the primary allowed amount. In field number 2, it's deductible and or coinsurance Medicare Secondary Payer amounts. So in other words, if your claim has a deductible amount, enter it here. Has a coinsurance amount, enter it here. Has both, total those 2 figures together, enter it in field 2. For Medicare Secondary Payer, field number 3 must always be blank. Enter your EOB date. It will be formatted in the date format. Use your month, year, century, date format for your EOB date. Field number 5, that's going to be the claim amount paid. Another area that has been a great deal of concern causing claims to reject is field number 6, which is the Medicare Secondary Payer insurance type. Those types are also listed here at the bottom of your screen. We have provided you with a detailed printout of what each one of those mean. Normally, yes, most patients will be a type 12, but not always. So for this claim, for example, it was denied because the patient is not over 65, working age, or spouse working. They're actually a disabled patient, so I'm going to change the Medicare Secondary Payer insurance type to a 43. Please, again, if there's any questions about this, you need to talk to your insurance provider relations department. You need to call us if you don't have the list, explaining what these different codes mean. But the claim will be denied at the Medicare level, not at the translator level when you send your claims in, if this type does not match what they have in their system. Field number 7 is the patient responsibility reason code. That's going to either be a 1, a 2, or a 3 most of the time. 1 is coinsurance, 2 deductible, 3 copay. If you do have a situation where it could be a coinsurance and a deductible, enter either of those numbers. They are not going to deny for that reason. Do not put both in this field. It's a 1-digit field. Field number 8, contractual adjustment amount. You will also find that on your EOB. Enter the amount here in dollars and cents. Field number 9, there was a lot of problems. Also, claims are getting denied now because CMS changed the CO code, contractual obligation code, from a 42 to a 45. So many people were using 42, which we had trained people to do, but they have now decided they want a 45 to mean that same thing, which is a contractual obligation paying at the usual and customary rate. So you must use a 45 in this field. Okay, that's all that really is needed to complete what you need in order to send this claim out to secondary. So I'm going to remark this claim and save the work I've done. Go in and just print this one claim just so that you can see that really at this point you've already been trained on primary insurance processing. Everything else is the same, but we're going to go through the process because there is one area that you do need to change differently. Billing, print insurance claims. We have had to create a special Medicare Secondary form called AntsZ MSP form. Use that. Change your print claim types from primary to secondary. And then come over to include. Some of you are going to be instructed to use insurance company because you have a special secondary insurance company. Others are going to be told you can still use your Medicare Secondary Category 1 field to print the claim. For this presentation purpose, because I just want to show you this one claim, I'm going to enter in a bill number, but you would normally use the insurance company or insurance category 1. Print, replace, as you do with all the rest of your claims, click OK, always, and print out my report, minimize LIHTC, and you are going to have on your desktop an icon that's going to take you directly in the program. But I just manually went in there through Explorer so that I can show you this for presentation purposes. Still use your pre-edit to make sure there's no format issues, and then process the claim. Always, please use this control number and write onto the top of the generated claims report that you printed out so that if there's any issues that we can reference that back and find that batch when we need to help you in support dealing with your EDI department. Make sure that the amount of claims that you're sending, which is here with leading zeros, and the dollar amount is correct so that you know that everything is being processed correctly. I am not going to go through the communications piece because each state is a little different. You've already been taught how to do that when you were taught how to do your primary claims. So you want to make sure at this point this batch has only been created, processed into the correct format. You still need to use your communications piece in order to upload the claim to your individual carrier.